Today, we have to be more concerned about disaster than ever before. Do you know when the next big one will strike? Do you have enough food and water in the house to survive for 72 hours minimum? Have you talked to your children about what to do in case of fire? Do they know what to do if the big one strikes and you are not around? It is not if disaster comes, but when it comes, you have control and know what to do. Please join our team to protect yourself and your family. In a major disaster, it might be several days before essential services are restored. The city of San Jose is exposed to a wide variety of hazards, both natural and man-made. Earthquakes, severe storms, fires, power outages, and floods are just some of the potential emergency we may face. Imagine that you have no electricity, no gas, no water, and no telephone service for days. Imagine that all the businesses are closed and you are without any kind of emergency services. What will you do until help arrives? Are you ready to find your family when the phones are out and the bridges are down? You and your family need to be prepared ahead of time. So what kind of disasters that may happen in our city? There can be earthquakes, wildfires, floods, extreme heat, landslides, thunderstorms, or technological types such as hazard material spill, nuclear power plants accident, or they can be terrorism using chemical, biological, radioactive substances, nuclear or explosive weapons. Regardless of the event, disasters have several key elements in common. They are relatively unexpected with little or no warnings. Available personnel and emergency services may be overwhelmed in the beginning. Lives, health, and the environment are endangered. In the immediate aftermath of a disaster, needs are often greater than the professional emergency services can provide. In order to prepare effectively, you need to assess your home and your community's vulnerability to hazards. This will allow you to prioritize your focus of preparedness. There are several factors to pay attention to. First, you identify the most common disaster that occur, and then the most severe impact. Identify your weaknesses, susceptible locations, such as old homes, mobile homes, and then people such as the elders, children, folks with disabilities. And then lastly, consider what to expect for disruptions of services and the length of restorations after the disaster. Now let us imagine what can happen after a major disaster. In transportation, it can be a big problem. You don't know which road is safe to go. Ambulances prevented from reaching victims. Police prevented from reaching areas of civil unrest. Fire trucks prevented from getting to the fires. Food and water supplies are interrupted. Roads are closed or dangerous to travel. And in terms of structures, hospitals, fire stations, police precincts, airports may not be functional. Panels and trees and debris are falling around you. Communication system may be down. You can't call for help. Families and friends cannot communicate. And the power perhaps will be out completely. No water services. With no water service, medical facilities hampered. Inadequate water flow, you have to boil water for safe consumption. But with no power or no gas, how can you do so? And without water, the firefighters have no water to fight against fires. The risk to public health is seriously increased. Fuel supplies may be affected, gas lines may be ruptured, and the air may be difficult to breathe because the air quality may be so bad. Financial services may also be affected. ATM machine will not work, credit card systems are down. What do? You need to imagine all these possibilities in order to better prepare. We need to talk about your home. It is important to know what type of damage to expect from the main types of structures. Old buildings may be more susceptible to damage from broken glass, falling panels, and collapsing walkways. Homes built before 1940 generally were not bolted to the foundation, making them subject to be shaken, blown away, or floated off their foundation. Those built of non-reinforced brick are less stable than the newer construction. Following an event in which a structure has been damaged, there is a threat of additional damage such as fire from the ruptured gas lines. Mobile homes, those are most susceptible to damage because they are easily displaced. And when that happens, structural integrity becomes questionable and utility connections are easily damaged, increasing the risk of fire and electric shock. Also, everyone has non-structural hazards in their homes or workplace. Fixtures and items within a home, garage, or workplace can pose a hazard during and after a disaster. Reducing hazard is an important part of personal preparedness. It does not take too much of your time. It may not cost much. Many items may already be available in your home, and all you need to do is reorganize them. There are several relatively simple things you can do that may help to reduce injuries and save lives. Please join us in the next several discussions where we will talk about how to build an emergency kit, how to make a family emergency plan, how to prepare for an earthquake, how to prevent a fire, how to make your home safer, how to perform medical emergency while waiting for professional help, and lastly, how to prepare for a flood. Let us work together to protect you and your family.